Howdy folks, and welcome back to MOC-UP. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about ice cream. Okay, well, we're going to be talking about ice cream, sort of. We're actually going to be talking about detailing and lights, but with my ice cream shop. So, I've been adding lights on for a while now, and I'm going to share with you guys today one of the ways that I've developed for putting lights into your buildings. This is a great way to make it stand out because it looks like there's actually life there. It's not just a shell, or it's not just a shell with stuff in it. It adds just a little bit of life, and I think it's a great way to build your MOCs and put a little detail and draw attention to it. So, let's get started. First of all, I'd like to point out that yes, these are decals. I made them myself, and in an upcoming episode, I can't remember exactly how far ahead, but I think it's like 2 or 3 episodes from now, we're going to be talking about making your own decals and applying them. These particularly are water slide decals, and that's what I know how to make, so that's what we'll be talking about. But anyway, so now let's get down to business. If I unplug these lights, so you can actually see it. Whoop, helps to turn it on first. There's actually lights in here. Now these lights are a little old, so they're not as strong. Well, rather the batteries in them are a little old, sorry. So they're not as strong as fresh batteries. But I can show you what I did to put them in there to give it just a little more life. I'll be showing you how I fed them in through each floor, and I'll be showing you some of the details of each floor so you can kind of start getting your own ideas for details for your own stuff. So here we go. Okay, so the lights that I actually used are very simple. They're just an LED strand with a battery box, carries 3 AA's. They're fairly cheap-ish. They're about $10-ish a pack. So as you can see, I have the wire right here. Maybe you can't see that. Let me zoom in so you can see it. There you go. As you can see, I have the wire running out the back of the building to the battery box. And what that allows me to do is it displays, hide it down behind. If I do it right, you can't even see that there's anything back there. So I sent it up. Whoop. That didn't work right. I sent the wire through the little gap that I created right there, and then down through the roof. And that just allows me to hide the lights much better. So if you'll give me one moment, I will show you how I set them up on the inside. By taking off the roof, which can't go very far because it is tethered to the thing, you can see that it's a little bit of a mess in here. And the reason for that is these strands are much longer than I need to run through my entire building. Now let me show you what I've done that I've found gives me the best way of running the lights through the building in a realistic manner. And by realistic, I mean the majority of the light coming from above down. If you think about it, most lights in residential and in businesses and things like that, the lights come from the ceiling. They're either fitted into the ceiling or they're lamps or something like that. So you want the majority of your light to be coming down from the ceiling. So what I've done is I've taken them. This wire comes out from the ceiling where the battery box comes in through. It flows through here into, now in order for this to work, I had to make sure that the walls were 2 plates lower than the top of the floor. And the reason for that is, well, A, you need to tile the top, but B, you need to put these extra pieces, these 1x1s with the stud hole things. I'm not entirely sure what their name is. I'll flash it up on the screen once I remember what it's called. But yeah, so you need these, and the idea is you place them in the direction that you want to send the lights. So you take these LED strands and you just feed them through, going up, over, and through, going around, around and through, yada yada yada, and you get a very nice look where the lights are coming mostly from the ceiling. Now, as you can see, I think I mentioned earlier, there's a ton of lights just sitting back in here, and that's okay. If you have an interior room, like you'll see the same thing down below, there's a ice cream freezer, and the idea is that I shove them all into the ice cream freezer because nobody's going to see in there anyway, and so that's okay. So if I move these out of the way for a minute, I can show you some of the details on the interior. Okay, so in the main room of the apartment here, this whole thing is kind of like a one of those buildings that you see downtown where there's a business on the bottom and then apartments or living spaces on the top. And these are just two guys who are roommates. And we've got, right now, they've got kind of a large screen TV, they've got a video game console, and just some games and whatnot to be playing. This guy's playing video games right now, although it looks like he's just loading up a game because it's just black, so maybe that's a loading screen or something. Next we have their small little table and chairs, and then if I pan over to the right a little bit, I could show you their kitchen, which has just a small stove, an oven, a cabinet, and an area to prepare stuff. It's sort of more a kitchenette than anything else. But no, these guys seem to me to be more like, you know, college-age kids. So, you know, they probably don't have that much stuff there. Now, for the actual rooms. Now, their actual rooms are mostly mirror images of each other. Now, this guy does have a desk kind of right there. I don't know if I can make that a little easier to see. He does have a little desk. He does not. But they both have windows. They both have a bed. They both have a chair. This guy's kind of just looking out over the block. Just kind of seeing what's going on towards the end of the day. Whoop. At least I think it's the end of the day. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. They have lights on, so it might be kind of dark out. But, so that's this level. And if you're interested to know where I get some of my furniture ideas, or how to build some furniture and stuff like that, that'll be in a later episode. Not sure how much later, but it could be a while before I get to it. But it is a future planned episode. So now we'll move on down to the actual ice cream shop, and I'll show you that. So here we are at the actual ice cream shop. As you can see, I run the lights a little weird down here. They come out of the first floor and down into this kind of entryway to the main apartment area. There's a door here to get into that. And I run the lights through a little hole I have into the ice cream freezer, which doesn't actually have anything in it. From there they run through another little hole using the same technique that I used earlier and around. Now you'll notice, this is a little counterintuitive, but you'll notice that the white that matches the color is actually further back. The white that matches the color of the walls, and the gray that doesn't match is actually further up front. I would have liked to have done them all in white, but I didn't have that many of them in white. Now, it would maybe seem like, oh, well, you want to use the gray in the back, because that's where people aren't going to see. But this is on the interior. The back is where they're going to see. If you look through the window here, you can see these. What you can't see is the stuff immediately above the window. So, if you're going to use this technique and you can't use the same color as the wall, for whatever reason all the way around, you want to use the colors that will most match the wall, either being, say, some sort of complement to it, or the same color, obviously, and then put the colors that do not match up at the front. and that way you won't be able to see them. Now, I wouldn't say to put them any further than about 3 studs away, 3 or 4 studs away from the window. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 studs, including the stud where the window is, back, and that's about that's about the last place I would put it, rather. Sorry, apparently I can't English today. So, looking through the window, you would only see back about 4 studs. So it's not that bad. So now we're going to go ahead and get some of the detail of the ice cream shop. So as we can see, the main feature of this ice cream shop is, well, the ice cream. I would think that would be kind of a main feature. This is the cash register, although it's not actually a cash register piece, just because I ran out of the proper piece for the cash register. Got a few more in, so I probably should swap that out. We can see that there's a family in right now getting some ice cream, and only 1 worker, so this is probably, you know, a slow time for them, or maybe it's a local business, which I would say by the title Brick City Creamery, it would be local to whatever city is called Brick City. Now over here we have the menu, and I decided to stick just with white for this technique, but you can change up these 1x1s to whatever color you want. And the idea is, you know, each of these 1x1 tiles is a picture of one of the ice cream flavors, and each line is on these grill tiles is maybe another flavor or information about the flavor above. Over here we can see that we have all sorts of ice cream flavors, which are pretty cool. I found these windshields right here, these ones right here, work really well for stuff like this. So if you're going to build like a ice cream shop like this, or you want to build like, say, a Subway or a Moe's, or, you know, someplace kind of like that where they have all the ingredients out at a counter and you decide what you want, I think that these windshield pieces are the best way to go. Now in the back we have his little kitchen, and for some reason the doors are gone from that thing. I think I just ran out of the doors, which I will be getting in soon from a Bricklink order, and I will fix that. But we got his workspace, we got some sort of dispenser over here. I'm not sure if it's hot and cold water, might be. This is a food place, so you do need to be able to wash your hands. And having worked in the food industry, I can tell you that they really prefer that if you go to the bathroom or something and you come back out to work, even if you've washed your hands in the bathroom, they want you to wash your hands out there in front of the customer so the customers can see that you've washed your hands. So this is probably what this is. Then over here we've got an oven, and I know what you're thinking, why is there an oven in an ice cream shop? But you do actually have to cook and make the cones, the waffle cones, so maybe they have handmade cones or something like that. Or maybe they hand make some of their other ingredients. Not to mention, if you've ever made homemade ice cream, you'll know that a lot of recipes actually call you to cook your ingredients, and that kind of helps create the flavor, and then you freeze it into the ice cream. So that's my Brick City Creamery. I really hope you guys were able to learn something from my lighting technique. There are other techniques you can use. I have one guy in my lug who actually has used like they're really cheap like tea candle type deals that take just a very small battery. You can find them at places like Dollar General and stuff like that. I found them there. I found a version of this as well that would kind of like twinkle and sparkle. And I've actually created something analogous to like some sort of futuristic sci-fi generator thing. And I will show you guys that one a little while later. There are other things you can do. One of the guys in my lug, there are other things you can do. Another guy in my lug is very fond of going to hobby stores and getting electronics that way. And he gets like the lights that you can get for model trains, or that you could stick in like RC planes and cars and whatnot. And he lights up his buildings with those. I'm not entirely sure how he does it, but he does a very good job of it. And he's gotten things where like different windows will light up different colors and flash, and it's very cool. But he has it set up to where he just has this massive battery supply, and it all plugs into that. And I think he's got one or two other ones where you can plug it into the floor. And that's another way that you can light your buildings, and you can light them essentially using the same technique I used here, where you run it through walls and across the ceiling and whatnot. But yeah, that's all I've got to say for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please like. If you got any questions, leave a comment. I will do my best to answer them. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, keep building.